so tired of this nonsense, man. Every week. You know what? No. Guys, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people expect me to come out here and just show that level of anger and get on this team. But honestly, I can't do it. I can't do it because I'm not even angry at this team anymore. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed in what the Ravens have become this season. This is not the Ravens team I know. This is not the Ravens team I know at all. The Ravens defense today gave up 17 points in the fourth quarter. 17 points given up by this defense in the fourth quarter. The Ravens offense has been nothing short of putrid. It's been a joke. It's been an embarrassment. You're getting some positive running game from Devontae Freeman, and he's been useful, so that's good. Other than that, this has been a joke. The passing game's been a joke. The offensive line's been a joke. The play calling's been a joke. I mean, you look at this offensive line today. 6.5 sacks were given up. 6.5. Our defense got 0 sacks on Ben Roethlisberger. Our offensive line gave up 6.5 sacks. Now, I will say this. I'll take away 2 sacks because 2 of those sacks was not on the O-line's fault. That was Lamar Jackson, who, by the way, has played terrible the last several weeks. This is not the MVP quarterback I know. He's playing awful football right now. He's just playing really awful. Just reckless, awful football. Like, he just doesn't even know what he's doing. He doesn't even look remotely close to the guy we've seen over the first 3 years of his career. He's playing awful football right now. Awful. Looking terrible. And he didn't look great in this game either. Just bad all around. The offensive line couldn't protect worth a damn. Lamar was getting battered left and right. Lamar missing throws left and right. Throws he's supposed to be able to make in his sleep, he's missing. He's holding on to the ball too damn long. He's taking too many damn hits that he shouldn't be making. That he shouldn't be taking. The play calling was atrocious. It was inconsistent for much of the game. Greg Roman's play calling, you guys know I've had a problem with it. It didn't improve at all. I mean, you assume you have talent here. Why do we even have Bateman on this team if we're not going to use him? Rashad Bateman's on this team and we don't use him. You finally utilized Sammy Watkins. Congrats on him getting a touchdown. Good for that. You decided to use Devin Duvernay on the final drive here. Other than that, you used him on jet sweeps. Is that all he's good for? He can't be utilized in the passing game anymore? You have all this talented receivers, but we never even try to scheme to get these guys open or to utilize them. We do nothing with our receivers. And we sit back and we want Lamar to be Superman. And all of a sudden when Lamar is not being Superman anymore, this is what you get. Because that guy, Superman, he's not here right now. He's not here right now. Because he's not here right now, we're playing exactly like this. What an embarrassment all around. And the thing that's really hurting me the most is that I know they're just going to sit back. They're going to say their same old spiel. Oh, we got to get better. We got to execute. We got to do this, and that. And it's just not going to happen. Execute? Where? So you're just going to turn around from week to week? All of a sudden this week you didn't execute. Next week you're going to be able to execute the way you were supposed to be executing for much of this season? No. Nothing's really going to change. The offense is probably going to continue to struggle until somebody steps up and does something and speak up, or until the head coach in John Harbaugh steps up and makes a move. Nothing's going to change. They're not going to change anything. The offensive lines continue. They're going to continue to play like this. Lamar, he's either going to get worse as the season goes on. He may make some improvements, but will still be looking bad, or he may turn it around. I don't know about this guy right now. Because, again, Lamar is not playing Lamar football. He looks awful right now. So, offensive line, I don't know. They're not going to get any better. The play calling certainly isn't going to get any better. And Greg Roman's not going to get fired. It's going to be the same old thing. They're going to continue to truck this same old putrid offense out there and come up with whatever they come up with. Do they honestly believe they can win a Super Bowl playing like this? Do they honestly believe they can get into the playoffs and go the distance with the way they're playing right now? Defense plays great defense for 3 quarters, gives up 17 points in the fourth quarter. How do you let that happen? Explain. How do you let that happen? You play good defense for 3 quarters and give up 3 points. In the second half, you give up 17. I can't do anything with this team, man. It's the same thing every week, man. Offense is not going to change. Greg Roman's not going anywhere. The issues that are there are going to continue to be the issue. Rashad Bateman might as well just be benched. I mean, why do you even give him snaps if you're not going to use him? He's in the same situation as Prochet. We don't use James Prochet. We don't use Devin Duvernay that much. We don't use Rashad Bateman. Why are they even here? They're not being utilized. We don't scheme anything open for these guys. We don't try to get them involved. We do nothing with our passing game. The execution is disgusting. It's poor. The play calling is poor and inconsistent. The play on the field is unacceptable, but nobody's stepping up to change anything. But they're just going to keep on trucking and pretending everything's okay. All right, so that's what y'all want to do. Defense, continuing to fold under pressure. I don't know what to tell you. It's the same thing. You know, coming into this game, you knew the two players you had to focus on was Deontay Johnson and Chase Claypool. But Deontay Johnson completely torched his secondary, was left wide open for one touchdown. The other touchdown, he got it because he was just able to make a good play. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. They couldn't stop this dude. 2 touchdowns on the day, over 100 receiving yards. What else is new? What else is new? I mean, this team is a joke right now. This team is playing like a joke. This is not a Super Bowl winning team. I'm telling you this right. I'm not a Super Bowl winning team. This is not a Super Bowl contending team right now. They're going to go to the playoffs and go one and done. If they honestly believe the way they're playing right now is going to take them to the promised land, by all means, keep playing like that and watch. When you go one and done, you can't blame anyone but yourselves. I mean, it's unacceptable, but nothing's going to change. And that's the sad part, you know. John Harbaugh used to be one of those aggressive coaches, man. When he saw something was not working, he would do whatever it takes to change. He did that during our Super Bowl year. Cam Cameron was not working as our offensive coordinator. He fired him. He knew the offense needed a change, a different look, and to see if that could work out. So he fired him, promoted Jim Caldwell. And it worked out in the end. I don't see him firing Greg Roman and promoting T. Martin. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at all. Because, you know, Harbaugh has softened up. He has softened up over his years as a coach. So now he's going to let this coaching staff do whatever they do. If they continue to be trash, he's not going to fire them. If they continue to be inconsistent, he's not going to fire them. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. Defense, 0. 0 sacks on the day. Fantastic. 0 sacks on the day. Just fantastic. Several opportunities to force a turnover. The ball's in your hands to get a pick. Nobody on the team has hands. Nobody on the team has hands. It's just sad. Chuck Clark probably could have had a pick, couldn't get it. Marlon Humphrey could have had a pick, couldn't grab it. Nobody on this team besides Marcus Peters has hands. Unfortunately, Marcus Peters is on IR, and he's out for the season, so he never got to play a single game. So the only guy who apparently has hands on our team is not here. Another person that had hands on our team, Deshaun Elliott, guess where he is? IR, out for the season. So the 2 players you know have hands on this team, they're not here. Everybody else don't have hands, so they can't catch a pick to save their lives. Disgraceful. Just disgraceful. It's the same thing with this team. Just disgraceful. Disgraceful. The way they're playing is unacceptable, but they're not going to change. So I don't want to get mad anymore. I can't keep doing this on a weekly basis where I come out here, I get mad, I get frustrated. It's not good. It's not good. It's just not good because I don't want to put myself through that. After the game's over and I've moved on from football, I have other things that I can take care of. I have other things that make me happy. I've got other hobbies I do, and I don't stress over the game, especially this season. I've learned after last season debacle, this season I do not stress out. Once I'm done my live stream, once I make my video on this, I go on and live my life. I go on and do my thing. I don't stress out about this. The problem is I'm sitting here on Sundays watching this team embarrass themselves time and time and time and time again. Nothing's changing. If you want to recap of the game, well, start off with first drive of the game. Lamar and the Ravens offense goes down the field, only for Lamar to act reckless and say, you know what, I'm going to just force it to Mark Andrews over the middle of the field. Gets picked off. That's how the game starts. Defense for much of the game did their job until the fourth quarter where they gave up 17 points. Meanwhile, the offense, they struggled to move the ball. One of the field goals they were able to kick was strictly because Lamar just threw he just threw anything. He threw whatever nonsense he threw up to Marquise Brown to get the pass interference call. We did nothing. You couldn't move the ball to save your life. That was our offense. It's like they're just content with letting Lamar do whatever he wants because they believe he'll save him every single time. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. This is football. This is a team sport. Stop relying on one person to save your entire offense. It doesn't work like that. First half was filled with a bunch of nothing. If there was any positive, the Ravens went on a 99-yard touchdown drive, so good for them. Other than that, nothing else to say. Nothing else to say. This team has been putrid for much of this game. For much of this season, this offense has been putrid. Lamar Jackson's numbers look terrible. He's turning the ball over at least once every single game, and that chain has yet to break. He does not look like himself. The offense looks terrible, and nothing seems to be changing. At what point does John Harbaugh step in and say, you know what? we got to sit back and talk about this. Maybe I need to make a change. Maybe Greg Roman, maybe I don't fire him. I demote him down to running coordinator. I put T. Martin as my offensive coordinator and try something different. Maybe I make a change in the coaching staff. Maybe I sit back and we have a whole meeting where we air out any situation or problems as to what's going on. Maybe we put that extra time in to fix something. At what point does John Harbaugh do that? At what point does Eric DeCosta put that pressure on John Harbaugh and say, listen, man, we got something going here despite all the injuries. At some point, you got to talk to these guys. This is not how we play Ravens football. This is unacceptable. You've been here during some of the great runs this Ravens team has put up. They didn't play as bad as this. They did not. And trust me, we had some awful offenses back in the day. We had some very slow offenses, but one thing they showed was heart. One thing is they were disciplined. If they weren't able to score, it's because the defense was that great. They just weren't able to make those type of plays. It's not that they were just messing up. It's not like the offensive line was getting Flacco killed back in the day. It wasn't happening like that. It wasn't. When we couldn't score on offense, it's because either the defense was so good or we just weren't able to execute that day. Or Flacco decided I was just going to turn the ball over that day. You never know what you got with Flacco. But the offensive line wasn't getting him killed. That wasn't the problem. The play calling wasn't disgusting for much of it, especially after we got rid of Cam Cameron. So I'm just looking at the situation. I'm just like, at what point does Harbaugh step up and make some sort of decision to change what's happening? You are now 8-4 in the season. 8-4. Cincinnati's behind you. You're at 8-4 right now. At what point does this team step up and make a change? When do you step up and fix this problem? I don't see it happening. We're going to get the same thing. Oh, I couldn't execute here. I'm going to be held responsible. I got to do this. It's easy to take responsibility. It's difficult to show what you're going to do in response to the mistakes you made. How are you going to fix it? Easy to take responsibility, harder to fix the problem. Okay, yeah, you played like trash. What are you going to do about it? How are you going to fix it? Offense does not look great. Offensive line can't block. Okay, how are you going to address it? How are you going to fix it? What improvements are you planning to make? Where are these improvements? Offensive line going to get it together. When? It's week 13. You're not even utilizing your receivers. You're not utilizing your receivers. What does Bateman do on this team? What does he do? Do you even try to utilize him? No, we don't. Prochet got one of the best hands on the team. Do you try to utilize him? No, we don't. Let's just throw to Mark Andrews 20 times a game. That'll definitely help us win. So disappointing. So disappointing. I don't know what's worse, the offense being putrid throughout the entire game or the defense playing good defense for 3 quarters and then proceeding to give up 17 points in the fourth quarter. I don't know what's worse. But this team as a whole, they're just embarrassing themselves, man. That 8-4 record right now, that's great. I'm sure they'll make the playoffs. But this is a team that's heading towards being one and done in the postseason. That's where they're heading. One and done. That's it. They're going to get into the playoffs because they have a good record, and then they're going to get beat by the first team. They're going to get beat down. If they go up against Cincinnati again, they're going to get smoked. If they go up against the Patriots in the postseason, they're going to get smoked. Kansas City is going to smoke us. So many teams will beat this Ravens squad right now. They are not playing good football, and they do not look like a good football team. They just have a good record. That's who they are. So anyone that wants to sit back and say this is a Super Bowl contending team, by all means, please stop. Please stop. You're not helping the situation. You're just making Ravens fans look like they're just blind witnesses that don't see any problems. This team's not a Super Bowl contending team. They're not going to the Super Bowl playing like this. They'll be very quick in a postseason exit with the way they're playing right now. Unless something changes. Which it probably won't, because Harbaugh will probably continue to do the same thing he's doing. If we get a change, I would be great. It'd be nice for them to prove me wrong, make that change. Maybe Greg Roman gets either fired or just demoted down to running coordinator, and you promote T. Martin and try that out. Maybe you go search for somebody else. I don't know. Maybe a change needs to happen. Maybe somebody needs to directly sit down and talk with Lamar Jackson. Maybe he himself needs to do something. Maybe the team as a whole needs to come together for some sort of meeting. But something has got to change. And I fear this Ravens team's not going to make that change. So they'll keep playing the same way they're playing. And they may have a game or two where they explode, and we'll pretend everything's all good. But when it gets into the postseason, where teams can spend all that time zoning in and focusing on what you do good and focusing on taking away your strengths, what will this team be? What will this team be? A one-and-done football team. That's what they're aiming to be. You want to talk about Super Bowl aspirations, but you want to play like this. Okay. See where you're going with that, Ravens. Good luck to you. There's not much to talk about the game. Again, like I said, offense played putrid for most of this. Defense played good defense for 3 quarters. Proceeded to give up 17 points in the 4th quarter. We came down to the last drive. Baltimore goes down the field, score a touchdown, hits Sammy Watkins. Then they decide to go for 2 instead of kicking the extra point, which I was all for because I knew if this team went to overtime, they were going to lose to the Steelers. So I said, hey, either get this 2-point no, I was like, either get this 2-point conversion or don't get it. Don't kick the ball. I did not want to get the extra point because I didn't want to go into overtime. I do not trust this defense in overtime. No. Giving up 17 points in the 4th quarter, and you wanted me to put this team back on the field potentially in overtime? No. That's just going to risk injury. Go for 2. You're on the road. I was completely for it, man. I was completely for them going for 2. And again, even the play itself, it was a good call. It was a good call. Just poor execution. Lamar could have had a better throw, and Andrew should have caught that ball. But you know what? It is what it is. So what am I supposed to say? Take the L, move on. But again, looking at this team, they're not a Super Bowl contending team. They will be a one-and-done football team in the postseason, and I have no problem saying that. If something doesn't change, that's their future. So, John Harbaugh, I look at you as the head coach. When are you going to make a move? When are you going to change something? When are you going to tell these guys we need to have a meeting and talk about the serious issues? When are you going to get aggressive the same way you got aggressive our Super Bowl year? If you believe this team can win a championship, when are you going to step up and do what you did back then to help this team get to where they were that year, which was a Super Bowl championship? When? Ball's in your court, man. If anything's going to change, it's you, the head coach, that has to make that change. But I doubt it's going to happen because you're just going to let Greg Roman be Greg Roman. You're going to let Wink Martindale be Wink Martindale. You're going to let the players be the players. And we'll just go into the playoffs and go one and done, and we'll move on with our lives. It's what it is. With that being said, that is all I got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.